Hey everyone, my name is Sophia and I'm a second year dental hygiene student, currently in my very last semester of my program. I'm actually 4 weeks away from graduating, but I recently took my NBDHE and I'm so excited to say that I passed. But I know how overwhelming boards prep can feel, so I wanted to come on here and share exactly how I studied, what resources I used, and what genuinely made a difference for me because I really wish I had a video like this when I was starting out. First and foremost, my board exam was the beginning of March, so I wanted to make sure that I started in January to at least give myself a good 2 months to get started on this whole process. So what I did first actually was I bought the NBDHE book. I actually bought the cheapest plan because they have different plans that they offer, or packages. So I bought the cheapest one, and that one was $350. So I used that and I started the second week of January. The first thing I did actually was I made basically a plan. I made a schedule for myself on my calendar, and I basically outlined like what subjects I want to tackle first, how many days I want to spend on each subject. That way I kind of was on top of it, and I wanted to give myself at least 2 weeks of review before my exam. So that's what I did. So for school, I actually have 2 clinic days, so Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I would be in clinic all day long. I knew I wasn't really going to study on those days, I'd be too tired. So on the days that I was off, I would study 5 to 8 hours. So I just had to make sure I had to make a plan and pace myself adequately. So after that, my next goal was, now that I know what subjects I want to tackle first, I'm basically going to go through the whole NBDHE book and I'm going to read it all. I had to get through it because I knew I didn't really want to use the PowerPoints for my school, because at that point it was over 50 PowerPoints and they're all like 80 to 120 slides each. So I'm like, I can't do that. So I'm just gonna read the entire book. I'm gonna get through it so that way I build my foundation for this exam. And I wanted to do that before I started testing myself. So I used those mini deadlines to kind of help me stay on track. And then it was just reading the book. After that, I would occasionally go on Reddit, and I highly recommend going on Reddit because there is a community of other students who are on the same boat as you. They're getting ready to take this exam, and they're asking each other questions, getting resources. So I definitely used that, and I kept seeing people talk about Booster. So I was like, what's Booster? So I found out that it was a study program similar to NBDHE, something like that, that helps prepare students for the NBDHE. So I kept hearing such good things about Booster, so I was like, okay, I have to get it because I'm willing to do whatever it takes to pass this exam. So I bought it. I actually got it when it was on sale, so I think it wasn't nearly as much as the cheapest option for NBDHE. I think it was around $120 when I got it on sale. But basically it was this really interactive program that you could use on your iPad, your phone, your laptop, and it basically had all these booster tests by subjects, like booster tests. It had study guides, it had videos, cheat sheets, community test lists, case studies. It had so many things, and I'll try to definitely include any screenshots or videos in this video so you guys can kind of see a glimpse into what it looked like. But it was super clean, super organized. I really liked it, and I really wished I knew about it sooner, because if I had learned about it in December, I fully believe I would have only used that instead of NBDHE. And I was so mad that I didn't learn about it sooner, because it really helped me a lot. So by the time I got Booster, I only had about a month left until my board exam, and that's counting the 2 weeks that I wanted for review. So what I did with Booster, so that you guys know, basically I tackled the hardest subjects first. So maybe like the most meatiest subjects of dental hygiene in general, the topics that kind of make the foundation of dental hygiene. So it was pharm, perio, radiology, those things that are really heavy on the board exam. So what I did was I went through each one, and at this point, by the time I had booster, I had already finished the NBDHE book because I wanted to read it all. So I gave myself around 2 to 3 days for each subject on booster. So I would start out by watching the videos, and I would also have the study notes on my iPad, and I would go over the study notes along with the video, especially because I'm personally a visual learner. So it really helped to watch the videos, and there's some things on the videos that aren't in the notes, so I'd write them down. There's some things in the notes that aren't in the video, so I'd be highlighting, I'd be writing all over my study notes. So that was so helpful for me. And I would, as I said, I was doing that on my iPad. And then after that, that's when I would take the booster tests. So if I was doing one for perio, for example, I would always read why I got the question right. I would read why I got it wrong, because it does give you the rationale behind every answer. So it doesn't just tell you you got one answer wrong and keep going. It tells you why it's wrong, or it tells you the reason why you got it right. There's also a booster AI that you can ask questions about, like if there's something that you're not understanding. So I definitely utilize that too. So it was super interactive, which I really liked. That was perfect for my learning style. So sometimes it would take me a few hours just to go through these tests because I wanted to really know everything. I wanted to know exactly what I said, like why I got it right, why I got it wrong, why is it not this answer choice, why is it not that answer choice. But that really helped me. That's what I did for every single booster quiz. So when it came to, when it came to like the final, before the final 2 weeks, I made sure I did each one 2 times, each quiz 2 times, because you can reset your information. You can also flag questions that you got wrong, or maybe that you're having a tough time understanding. So I made sure I did each one twice. I would reset it the second time and do it all over again. So what I really liked about Booster was one thing that I noticed that I actually didn't know before Booster was they offer community testlets. So that really helped me for the exam. It really prepped me because that wasn't something on NBDHE. I actually had no idea that was even a thing. So that definitely prepared me right before this exam. I also felt like the case studies Booster offered, I prefer them more than NBDHE. I think the ones on NBDHE kind of overwhelmed me. I did a couple. I didn't do them all. But I felt maybe the ones on Booster, it was a little bit less overwhelming for me. It wasn't like they had 50-something, 30-something case studies that I felt I had to tackle right before the exam. That's something that kind of calmed me down. They weren't overwhelming. They seemed a bit more current and realistic compared to the actual boards. So I really like that. And for the last 2 weeks before my board, as I said, I wanted it just for review. So what I did was I just kind of went over these chapters in Andy that I struggled with. I know one of them was anatomy. So I went over anatomy. Like that was the third time at that point. I went over anatomy. I just went over my notes, what I highlighted, things like that. And then sometimes I would occasionally go on Booster and I would make sure to go over the quizzes. I wouldn't redo them a third time, but I definitely went over everything that I flagged to kind of see, okay, am I getting this now? Is this kind of coming to me easier? And if not, I'm just going to go over all the rationales, or even go through the study guides. I know I did do a read through of the study guides before my exam as well. That really was a lifesaver. That helped me so much. I think that Booster kind of helped really lock in the information and make sure that I really had that foundation not memorized, but that I understood it before doing this 8-9 hour long board exam. And I also made sure I did all the testlets for Booster before the exam. So I did all the community testlets, and then I did all the case studies as well. And I would just recommend that if you're gonna go ahead and do that, try not to do it all in one day. It is a lot of information. I would just say just do a couple every day, and that's what I did. I did maybe 3 each day, and that was really helpful. You you don't want to try to cram too much information. At that point, you definitely do have it locked in. You know more than you know for sure. So just take it easy, try to calm down. And then on test day, just make sure you guys have a good breakfast. Make sure you try to get some sleep. I know they say not to study the day before, but I was going crazy. I had to study. What I did was the day before I was just going over these study notes that Booster offered. And I'm so glad I did that because it was just super clean, super organized information. And I already had my own notes on top of it. And that's really all I did the day before. So if you guys have any questions, anything like that, please comment down below or message me. I'm more than happy to help you out. And you guys definitely got this. So good luck to everyone and thank you for watching.